Let's help you minimize thin and top to golf shots. What's happening when you hit that shot, the bottom of the swing, instead of brushing the grass and then having the ball right up the grooves and go in the air, the bottom of the swing is actually hitting the equator of the ball, or if it's severe, it'll go and hit the very top of the ball. When that happens, it could be embarrassing because we're not advancing the ball, or in a situation like this where we're near the green, if we hit a thin shot, if we hit the equator of the ball will go a long way and it won't stop. And what we're trying to desperately do is just brush the grass and have it pop up in the air. So let me give you some ideas about how to fix this shot. The first thing we want to do is make sure that we have good posture. Players that I see top the golf ball, they'll have excessive knee flex, and as we start to have more flex in our knees, the spine will get vertical. Their pelvis is underneath them, spine is vertical, and then they're reaching for the ball, so their posture will look like this. It's almost impossible to brush the grass from this posture. What we need instead is to push our hips back, and instead of sitting and reaching, hips will be pushed back and our arms will hang down. Sometimes this in itself fixes the top shots, just making sure that we have good posture. The other thing that we want to do, once we've established a good posture, we want to turn around our posture. So I'm taking this club and I'm putting it right on my back. And so when I go back, my left shoulder goes underneath my chin, and then my right shoulder goes underneath my chin. So I'm turning around my posture. We don't want to establish this good posture and then lift up. So you don't want to do one of these, or have this good posture and then turn level. We want shoulder under the chin, shoulder under the chin. If you do this correctly, and we look halfway back, there's some tilt right here, and the club is pointed down to the ground. If we start going too flat, it'll look like this. My shoulders are towards the horizon, and then the club is pointed out there, and it's going to be tough to brush the grass from here. So step one, establish good posture. Step two, let's turn around the posture with some tilt. We are not dipping though. We are not losing height. We do not want to get closer to the ball. We just want to turn around our posture. Next thing we want to do when we're making our swing, we want to turn around our posture but stay centered. If we had some lines from your ankles, players that top the ball, a lot of times will move off the golf ball. So they're moving laterally and they'll swing through, and then the club is moving up and they top it. So there's an old analogy, pretend you're swinging in a barrel, so like a wine or a beer barrel, you're standing inside of it. You're allowed to turn, but we do not want to sway. And so practice swings you could do, turn in the barrel, and then shift your weight forward. A good visual aid would be this impact bag, and I'm creating a ramp. So it's a little bit exaggerated, but this ramp right here, this gives a golfer the visual that they have to get the club up in the air. So there's a little hinge, the club's going up, and then it's going to come down the ramp and brush the grass. So then we could take something small like a golf tee. I'm using this plastic tee right here. And you can take a coin or a tee and you can place it about 1 inch in front of the golf ball. And if we're doing this correctly, this is a small swing. I'm going to go up the ramp and the club is going to stay low to the ground and the ball will pop up. So small swing, up the ramp, club stays low to the ground, ball pops up in the air and then it stops. So especially if you're new to the game and you're just struggling getting the ball up in the air, create a practice station similar to this. You could roll up a towel, but what you want to do, start off balanced, have the shaft lean forward. If the shaft is leaning slightly forward, again, it's much easier to hinge up and brush the grass. If the shaft is vertical, or even worse, leaning backwards, and you're going to hit the ramp going back, and then we'll make some swings and the club's going to finish really high in the air. So we're not trying to glide underneath the ball. We do not want to hang back. this club has lots of loft, and so we don't need to hang back to hit this in the air. If anything, let's lean it forward, weights a little bit forward, hinge up, and then finish low, and then the ball will pop up in the air. So drills that you can do, okay, besides creating a visual aid, you could do drills where you take a pitching wedge or an 8-iron, place it right behind the golf ball, and then all you want to do is just kind of push the ball forward like this. And the only way that you can push it forward is if your body rotates, if our weight is on our front foot, and if our arms are extended. So many times players think they top the ball because they're lifting up their head, and that's usually not the case. Usually what's happening is that their body just doesn't move at all, and then the arms will get short. So in their follow through, instead of rotating and having extended arms, the body will not rotate, and then the club lifts up, so it ends up something like this. They're trying to get the ball up in the air, they're trying to lift it, and in doing so, they're actually topping it. So drills that you have, practice station, roll the ball forward. You could also stick out your right hand, place your left hand behind it, and it creates a triangle right here between our arms and our shoulders. And we could practice rocking the triangle, just go waist high to waist high. But I want you to finish like this, where we have the triangle and our body's facing the target, and we have this golf finish. It's impossible to keep the triangle if your body doesn't rotate. So if I come through, my body's not opening up, I start to lose the shape of the triangle. Let's get the body to open up. And then if you do that, the club will stay low to the ground for a long time. You'll be able to use the loft of the club to get the ball up in the air. So start off with the shorter club, start off with a pitching wedge, 9 or 8, work your way up to longer clubs. But if you do these drills, the top shots, they should start to go away.